Good morning, Fiona Pearman and Kate Borough here. And we've been exploring congruence and confidence all month. And I think one of the places that we get to really play with this, Kate, is in our Acts of Confidence program. We really unpack and we start to work on how do we align the inner and the outer that's going on so that it's easier to act from this place of congruence.
Yeah, so I think this piece around what's going on my inside world, right? Self-talk, my truth. I think there's always challenges in that because one of the things or one of the signals that we're out of alignment or not in congruence is actually the recognition of what do I want. And again, that one feels tricky because it feels like we should know what we want, right? It's me. I should just know. In our experience and, module 1, get clear and make decisions, which is active confidence number 1. We start there, right? We work with you to help you get clear on who you are, what you want, where you want to go, so that you have that conscious clarity. And the beauty of that, once you have that clarity, is then we can recognize the places, the spaces where we are not aligned in terms of our thoughts and our feelings, our wants, our needs on our inner world. And then the decisions and the actions we're taking in the external orientated world. And the beauty of that is awareness and consciousness allows us to recognize that something's going on. And it's only when we can see it for what it is that we can actually start to do something about it.
And I think this is where, we talk about this a lot, noticing what's happening in my body, noticing and being attuned in, being aware, being curious about, oh, that didn't feel so good, or this doesn't feel good inside, and starting to explore that rather than pushing it down. And often we know one of the big things that's going on is this piece around fear and failure. And active confidence number 5 is all about reframing our relationship with fear and failure. It's about recognizing what's going on and recognizing potentially old default stories, our old beliefs, our old worries and concerns about things that perhaps are not really as relevant now as they were in the past, but they're still running the show in terms of we want to do something, we're now clear about it, but oh my goodness, if I do that, what's going to happen? What's the risk here? What could go wrong? And maybe, I might feel rejected or unliked, and all of these uncomfortable pieces that sit below fear and failure. And so spending some time unpacking what that means for me individually and ways in which I can start to re-engage, recalibrate how I deal with these fears as they come up.
Yeah, I think we say all the time, right? The 2 acts of confidence we talk about every week, nearly in every conversation, is number 1, get clear and make decisions. Number 5, redefine your relationship with fear and failure, fall down and get back up again. So now that piece around recognizing, again, it's clarity, recognizing what's going on for me, recognizing why, for example, I'm not making a decision, I'm not speaking up, what is the fear, so that then I can make different choices, right? Or accept it for what it is. I think the other 2 that I really want to talk about is really in the action taking. In our program, it's all orientated around small acts of confidence, imperfect action, because we know on the other side of action, we get more information. If we get a no, then we're really clear on what someone's boundaries are or what is a hard no versus soft no, right? So we can now start to get in to understand what's going on between below the dynamics. This piece around asking for what you want, active confidence number 3, right? Which is, now that I recognize that I'm clear about what's going on for me, now I'm taking action and giving voice to that. I now have the opportunity to get feedback. I now have the opportunity to get information around what's possible and what's not possible. And from that place, I am in a more empowered and I'm in a more certain place than I was before I took action. And so I think asking for what you want, number 3, active confidence number 6, set and enforce boundaries. Both of these are live spaces where we really get to transition our thoughts, feelings, wants, needs into outcomes, and of course get the feedback from that as well.
And this is where the rubber hits the road, because it's the doing, it's the acting, it's the being in it, even when it feels uncomfortable, even when that kind of, that awkward feeling in our stomach comes up and we want to contract, we want to step away, but still I stand in, still I ask the question in the meeting, still I, don't worry so much about what other people's reactions are. In the doing these small, what we call small acts of confidence, that's where we start to fuel this resilience. That's where we start to embody and feel something different in ourselves. And I think, Kate, every session we do with cohorts in acts of confidence, people, there's like an awakening that happens as when I did that, this is how it felt internally. And I realized I can do this thing that for usually years, if not decades, I've been holding back from because I had an idea that something would go wrong. But now I've done it, it actually sits inside of me. It's actually part of me. And that embodying shifts the dynamic so that the congruence is felt internally and externally. And in that moment of congruence, we are more powerful. We're more powerful for ourselves, but we're more powerful for the people around us.
Yeah, and we're also more in more integrity with ourselves, right? Which is the other whole layer here around speaking our truth, taking action, asking for what I need. I think the other thing as we close is it's in the taking action that we get evidence that busts a lot of the old stories and beliefs and assumptions and default behaviors, right? So it's the action that gives us the information that says, oh, actually, maybe that wasn't so bad, or actually, maybe that isn't as risky as what I was thinking. And so that's where the gold is, right? That's where we start to reinforce and wire our brain to do things differently. Team, thank you for joining us today. If you've enjoyed today's confidence conversation, drop us a note below to let us know what you loved most. Of course, if you know someone in your world who could benefit from any of our confidence conversations, we'd love for you to share that with them. When you are ready, head over to our Facebook page. So many great conversations this month around alignment and congruence if you want to dig more into this month's theme. And of course, when you are ready to go deeper with your relationship with core confidence, visit our website, coreconfidence.com.au.